back to East Coast Wagering. It's Memorial Day weekend, and you know what that means. We've got some fantastic races lined up for this coming Monday. At Santa Anita Park, they've got the mandatory Rainbow Pick 6 payout, and if you happen to have $33,000 lying around, you can hit the all button every leg. I checked the seat cushions, and I couldn't drum up enough change, so I got a more budget-friendly version of that bet, and I'll give you my selections for each of the 6 races. The first leg in the sequence is race 5. It's the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile, and in this race we have a 4-5 favorite who likely could be the controlling speed in Smooth Like Strait. Here you see him in his last out in the Maker's Mark Mile, where he ultimately finished 3rd. That race has held up very well based on the performances of the others who have run back in that race. The second place horse in that race, Mason, won the Seek Again Stakes at Belmont next out. Set Piece and Atone ran 1st and 3rd respectively in the Grade 2 dinner party last week on the Preakness undercard, and Mirrored Mission and Cheryl Spite finished 2nd and 4th in the Turf Classic on the Derby undercard. Smooth Like Strait is 8 of 9 in the money at Santa Anita and 10 of 11 in the money at the distance, both with 4 wins. And he also gets the hottest jockey in the country right now on board in Flavian Pratt. It's going to be tough to pick any single in this sequence, but I think the most logical one is Smooth Like Strait out of these. If you have the available funds and you want to go deeper, I also like the 2 Count Again. But again, for my budget-friendly version of this pick 6, I'm going to single the 5, Smooth Like Strait here. Race 6 is a $50,000 maiden claimer for fillies and mares going 6.5 furlongs on the dirt for 3-year-olds and up. And my number 1 selection here is the number 6, Miss Baylee. I love the way Miss Baylee ran last out, where it was her first race off a year-plus layoff. She was too deep in a 4-wide run for the lead and got in a little tight when the 6-horse made a move around the turn. She tried coming back at that one in the stretch, but ultimately flattened out and finished 3rd. She's going to get a more favorable pace setup here, depending on how the first-timers run. She may even inherit the lead if the 1 doesn't go, and the first-timers don't as well. I think that she should move forward, second off the layoff, so I made her my top choice in this one. My second choice is the number 3 and the morning line favorite, Warren's Queen Bee. Here you see Warren's Queen Bee running against similar company, where she stalked the leader on the rail, made up some ground into the stretch, but ultimately failed to catch the pace setter. She runs fairly consistently at this level, but is winless in 9 tries. So that makes it a tough pill to swallow at 8-5 morning line price, but I don't want to leave her out of the multi-race wagers because she has been knocking on the door lately. I'm also going to toss in 2 other horses in this race. I'm going to throw in the 5, Tequila Tigre, who got a trainer change after the claim and maybe could move forward with a clean break. And I'm also going to throw in the first-timer, number 9, Cow, who seems to be working better than the other first-timer, and I want to have one of them in the mix. Race 7 is a $100,000 maiden claimer for fillies and mares on the turf going a mile for 3-year-olds and up. And my top selection is the 8-horse Sunny Morning. You can see her here in her 2 back running the same mile distance, where she trailed throughout until the far turn for home. She ran evenly to get 3rd and just missed by a neck. I'm concerned she's 0 for 10 lifetime, but she seemed to be getting close before her last out, where she couldn't relax early and faded to last. She has 2 seconds and a 3rd at this track in 4 attempts, and she gets Umberto Rispoli back on her, who rode her in her best effort. There could be enough pace to set up her closing kick here, so maybe she can improve off that neck loss from March. My second selection is the 4, Exit Soul. Exit Soul was on the lead in her last out seen here, where she faced Sunny Morning. She led to the stretch and looked done, but battled back a little bit and held for 3rd. She likely won't be on the lead this time and could work out more of a stalking trip, getting the jump on the closers for first run at the pace setters. I'm going to go a little deeper here than just those 2. I'm also going to throw in the 2 pace setters, the 2 Isolde Mia and the 5 Super Renee, as well as the 1 Roxbury off the trainer change and the 6 Violet Storm, who's cutting back to a mile. Race 8 is a $67,000 maiden race for going 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds and up. I'm actually going to take a chance here. I'm only going to go 2 deep, and I'm going to use 2 of the 3 first-timers in this race. I'm going to use the 1 Recall and Reload, who looks dangerous based on a couple works that he's had at 5 furlongs. And I'm going to throw in the 5 Showtime, who gets Mike Smith for Richard Mandela, and Into Mischief has a high win percentage with first-timers. I realize it's a little bit of a chance. I'm fading the favorite, the 6, who could be dangerous if he gets alone on the lead, which he could here because we're not sure how the first timers are going to run. But I just don't like the way that he had absolutely nothing left in the stretch and held on second, but it didn't look like any of the other horses were running in that race. Ultimately, I feel this is a small field. There's only 6 horses, and if we want to keep this budget friendly, then we need to go narrow in a 6-horse race, and that's why I'm only going 2 here. The second to last race in the sequence is race 9. It's a 69,000 allowance race for non-winners of 2 or 1 individual race for 15,000. It's going 6.5 furlongs on the hillside turf for 3-year-olds and up. And my number 1 selection is the 8 Mubtadaa, who you see here, running second in his first attempt against winners at this very same level. He had an extremely rough trip where he veered in at the start and bumped a couple others, which caused him to sit a little further off the pace than he usually does. As he made the move for home, it appeared that the pace horse came out a little bit, which may have stalled his run, and ultimately he had nothing left to catch the leader, who drew off. He has run well in both tries since the trainer change off the layoff, both at this track and at this distance, with the second shown here, plus his maiden score in March. It's his 3rd race off the layoff, and he should be ready and in peak form to run well again. My second selection is the number 2 Newpark, who should be the pace in this race. He's won 2 straight, and in his last out seen here, he was extremely rank early, but grabbed the lead and never looked back, and he had plenty left in the stretch to hold off the favorite. He's probably going to face more pace pressure in this one, but I still love how he held on despite how unrelaxed he was to start the race. I'm going to go a couple deeper in this leg because I do think this is a wide open race. I'm going to add in the 3 Lansdowne, who's coming off a maiden score, the 7 Cane Creek Road, who Sadiu actually chose over the 2 horse, who I like. And I'll throw in the 5, Adare, who is only 1 for 18 lifetime, but I think that if the pace comes up extremely hot, he could possibly pick up the pieces at a big price. The final race in the Pick 6 sequence is race 10, and Santa Anita decided to bookend the Pick 6 with Grade 1 races. It's the Grade 1 Gamely, going a mile and 1/8 on the turf for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. And the likely post-time favorite, and the morning line favorite is definitely the horse to beat, Going Global. You can see here in the last out in the Grade 2 Royal Heroine as the big 1-5 favorite. She was ridden extremely confidently. She set off the pace and just blew by to win when she was asked. She has 8 wins in 13 lifetime races, is 5 for 5 at Santa Anita, and 3 for 3 at the distance. She is absolutely the one to beat here, and you could likely single her in the multi-race wagers and go deeper in other legs. But I'm going to throw one other horse in there, and that's the 7 Neige Blanche. You can see her here last out in the Santa Barbara, in which she stalked in 4th off the pace and made a move in the stretch to win fairly easily, going by the favorite, who never really had much pace pressure in that one. This mare may just want to go longer, it may come up short, but she offers great value at morning line odds of 6-1, and she seems to look better every single start. The real question is, can she take another step forward, run shorter, and beat Going Global, who looks like a standout in this field? I guess we'll find out. So here's the full Pick 6 sequence then. In race 5, I'm going to go with the number 5 Smooth Like Strait. In race 6, I'm going to go with the number 3 Warren's Queen Bee, the number 5 Tequila Tigre, the number 6 Miss Baylee, and the number 9 Cow. In race 7, I'm going to go with the number 1 Roxbury, the number 2 Isola, the number 4 Exit Soul, the number 5 Super Renee, the number 6 Violet Storm, and the number 8 Sunny Morning. Race 8, I'm going to go with the 2 first-time starters, the number 1 Recall and Reload, and the number 5 Showtime. In race 9, I'm going to go with the number 2 Newpark, the number 3 Lansdowne, the number 5 Adare, the number 7 King Creek Road, and the number 8 Mubtadaa. And in the final race, race 10, I'm going to go with the number 6 Going Global and the number 7 Neige Blanche. At a 20-cent cost, the Pick 6 total would be $96. I'm going to include here my picks for the first 4 races prior to the Pick 6. I don't think there's a whole lot of value in these. It looks like the favorites are the horses to beat for the most part, and they're very tiny fields. Race 1, I like the 1 Queen's Coat as my top choice, and then the 6 and 2. My top choice in race 2 is the 2 Wine and Whiskey, and then the 4 and 6. Race 3, my top selection is the 5 Red Diamond, and then the 3 and 6. And race 4 is the Hollywood Gold Cup. They only drew 5 horses into this field, It looks like it's favorites again in this one. The 2 Royal Ship and the 5 Stiletto Boy look like the 2 horses to beat. I'll throw the 4 Defunded for third. Well, there's my selections for the pick 6. Go ahead and tell me if you like it, or maybe if you want to tinker with it a little bit, maybe you have a little bit bigger budget or a little smaller budget, you can cut or add as you see fit. They're expecting a $5 million total pull as an estimate, but that could be higher or lower than that. In any case, the pick 6s always pay pretty well on these mandatory payouts, especially because you have so much overlay and you have so much spread in the pool. So even if you get a lot of short price choices that run in, it's still going to pay out much more than a normal pick 6 or any multi-leg wager would based on the favorites. Thanks for watching my video. This is East Coast Wagering again. Please remember to like and subscribe. I could use all the help I could get. If you like my videos, share it with others or hit that like button. Again, this is Jeremy Pielmeyer. This is East Coast Wagering, and thanks for watching my video.